stop scrolling. Listen carefully, because this is exactly where people make the biggest mistake of their life. Right now, somewhere around you, maybe in your pocket, your drawer, or mixed in with loose change, there could be a dirty, dark, ordinary-looking penny. The kind you ignore. The kind you drop. The kind you spend without even thinking twice. But here's the truth most people never realize. That one worthless penny could actually be a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. Yes, a single coin that looks completely normal has shocked collectors, triggered quiet bidding wars, and made people realize too late they just gave away real money. And the worst part? This is not rare. This is happening every single day. People are losing valuable coins again and again simply because they don't know what to look for. So before you spend another coin, before you walk away from your change, stop. Check your pennies. Because what you're about to discover is not fiction. This is hidden wealth. Coin number 1. What if I told you that a simple, worn-out penny sitting in your drawer right now could be worth more than a luxury house and most people would spend it without even thinking twice? What if that small, ordinary coin you've ignored your entire life is actually one of the most powerful hidden treasures ever released into circulation? This is not a theory. This is not hype. This is real, auction-proven reality. And today, we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins ever created in American history, the 1943 wheat penny with the D mint mark. Right now, millions of people across the United States are unknowingly holding on to coins that could change their lives forever. These are not gold coins. These are not ancient relics locked away in museums. These are Lincoln wheat pennies, the same type of coin people throw into jars, lose in couch cushions, or hand over at stores without a second thought. But hidden among them are extremely rare variations that collectors are desperately searching for every single day. The 1943 wheat penny with the D mint mark is one of those coins that completely breaks expectations. At first glance, it looks different from a normal penny. And that's because 1943 was a very unusual year. During this time, the United States was deeply involved in World War II, and copper was needed for war supplies like ammunition and electrical equipment. Because of this, the U.S. Mint made a dramatic decision that changed coin history forever. Instead of using copper, pennies in 1943 were struck using zinc-coated steel. That means these coins appear silver in color, not the usual brown or copper tone people expect. This alone makes them stand out. But here's where things get even more interesting. While millions of steel pennies were produced, only a tiny fraction have the right combination of condition, mint mark, and unique features that make them incredibly valuable. Now, let's focus on the D mint mark. This small letter, located just below the date on the coin, represents the Denver Mint. And while many coins were produced there, not all are equal. Certain 1943 D wheat pennies have characteristics that make collectors pay extreme amounts of money to own them. We're talking about coins that look ordinary to the untrained eye, but are actually rare pieces of history. One of the most important things you need to understand is that condition plays a massive role in value. A heavily worn coin might still be collectible, but a well-preserved example with sharp details, strong luster, and minimal damage can skyrocket in value. This is why collectors carefully examine every detail from the edges to the surface texture. But condition alone is not enough. What truly separates an ordinary 1943 D wheat penny from a valuable one is the presence of rare errors or unusual characteristics. These errors happened during the minting process and were never meant to exist. And yet, somehow, they made it into circulation. That's what makes them so desirable. For example, some of these coins may have striking errors, off-center designs, or unusual surface textures. Others may show signs of die imperfections that create subtle but important differences. These tiny details are often invisible unless you know exactly what to look for. And that's why so many valuable coins go unnoticed for years. Imagine this. Someone finds an old jar of coins, quickly sorts through them, and spends the pennies without a second thought. But hidden among them could be a 1943 D wheat penny with a rare feature worth thousands. That's how these coins continue to circulate quietly passing from hand to hand, waiting for someone to recognize their true value. Another critical factor is authenticity. Because these coins are so valuable, there have been attempts to alter or fake them. Some people try to modify other coins to resemble a 1943 D penny. That's why serious collectors pay close attention to weight, magnetic properties, and overall appearance. A genuine 1943 steel penny will react to a magnet, while copper pennies will not. This simple test alone can reveal a lot. But even among genuine coins, the differences can be dramatic. Some are common and worth only a small amount. Others, due to rarity and condition, can reach astonishing prices. And this is where things become truly fascinating. Collectors are not just buying coins. They are buying history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something almost no one else has. The 1943 D-Wheat penny represents a unique moment in time when the world was at war, and even the smallest details, like the metal used in coins, were affected. Now think about this carefully. Every time you come across an old penny, especially one that looks different or unusual, you could be looking at something far more valuable than you realize. Most people don't check. Most people don't pay attention. And that's exactly why these hidden treasures continue to exist in everyday circulation. The truth is, valuable coins are not always locked away in collections. Many of them are still out there, mixed in with ordinary change. They show up in old piggy banks, forgotten drawers, inherited collections, and even everyday transactions. The opportunity is real, but only for those who know what to look for. And this is where your awareness becomes your advantage. By understanding what makes the 1943 D-Wheat penny special, you are already ahead of millions of people who ignore these coins completely. You now know that the material, the mint mark, the condition, and the presence of errors all play a role in determining value. But here's the part that truly shocks people. One specific example of a 1943 wheat penny with a D mint mark reached an incredible auction price of $275,000. Let that sink in for a moment. A single penny, originally worth just 1 cent, transformed into a life-changing asset, simply because of its rarity and condition. That is the reality of coin collecting. It's not about luck alone. It's about knowledge, awareness, and recognizing opportunity when it appears right in front of you. And the most incredible part is that these opportunities still exist today. So, the next time you see an old penny, don't ignore it. Don't assume it's worthless. Take a closer look. Check the date. Look for the mint mark. Pay attention to the color and the details. Because that small coin you're about to overlook could be something extraordinary. And remember this. Hidden fortunes don't always look valuable at first glance. Sometimes they look like the smallest, most ordinary objects in your everyday life. But for those who know what to look for, those ordinary objects can become something truly priceless. Coin number 2. What if I told you that one of the quietest coins ever made during wartime America could still be sitting in someone's hand right now, passed across a counter as ordinary change, while collectors instantly recognize that same tiny piece of copper as a coin worth far more than most people ever imagine? What if a single small letter under a date, just one tiny D, could completely change the way a penny is viewed? That is exactly why the 1945 wheat penny with the D mint mark continues to capture attention, because millions of people still overlook it, while serious coin hunters stop immediately when they see that Denver mark beneath the ear. And the truth is simple. Many people have owned this coin without realizing it carried historical importance, collector demand, and in rare conditions, remarkable value. Before anyone spends a 1945 D-Wheat penny without checking it carefully, they need to understand why this coin remains one of the most searched wartime Lincoln cents in modern collecting. The 1945 wheat penny with D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint during one of the most historically important periods in American coinage. The war was ending, metal supply chains were still influenced by military demand, and every cent being produced carried the practical pressure of high-volume circulation. Denver struck more than 266 million of these pennies, which means the coin is not rare in basic numbers, but quantity alone never tells the full story. What matters is how many survived in exceptional condition, how many show rare, striking characteristics, and how many still retain the original sharp surfaces collectors want today. A 1945 D wheat penny immediately stands apart because of the mint mark itself. Under the date, the small d identifies Denver production, and collectors often compare Denver coins from the 1940s to Philadelphia and San Francisco examples because Denver frequently delivered stronger strikes. That means details in Lincoln's hair, jawline, coat, and the wheat stalks on the reverse can appear sharper when preserved well. In circulated grades, this difference may seem small, but in higher-grade examples, it becomes a major reason collectors pay closer attention. Strong strike quality often creates stronger demand because premium collectors want coins that show the design exactly as intended. Another reason this coin remains important is its metal composition. Like other 1945 wheat cents, the 1945 D was struck using a bronze alloy made largely from wartime recycled materials. Many specialists refer to these as shell case-era cents because recycled brass from military shell casings contributed to production during and after wartime metal transitions. That historical connection gives the coin a deeper story beyond simple face value. A collector does not only see copper and design, they see a surviving artifact from one of the most transformative years in global history. When people find a 1945 D wheat penny today, they often make one immediate mistake. They assume dark color means no value. But in coin collecting, color must be understood correctly. Brown examples are common, red-brown examples attract more interest, and full red coins are where market excitement begins. A coin that still shows bright original red surfaces after decades immediately enters a more competitive category because most examples darken through handling, storage, and oxidation over time. That surviving red brilliance can multiply value dramatically when combined with high grade. Condition changes everything with this date. A worn 1945 D wheat penny may trade for only a few cents, but once the coin reaches uncirculated levels, especially with strong red color, the conversation becomes completely different. Collectors examine Lincoln's cheek, jawline, coat folds, and ear detail closely. If those areas remain sharp, it suggests minimal wear. On the reverse, they inspect each wheat line, especially the upper grain tips, because that is where wear often appears first. Small differences invisible to casual eyes can separate a coin worth almost nothing from one worthy of auction attention. The edge of the coin also matters more than most viewers realize. A clean rim without major hits improves grading potential. Even one noticeable rim mark can reduce desirability. This is why serious collectors hold coins under angled light rather than direct flat light. Under angled light, hairlines, scratches, and surface disturbances become visible instantly. A coin that appears attractive in one position can reveal problems when tilted slowly. Then there are mint errors, and this is where many ordinary-looking 1945 D pennies become much more interesting. Collectors search for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, lamination errors, and doubling in letters. Sometimes a coin appears damaged, but under magnification, it reveals a true mint-made abnormality. A clipped edge, unusual thickness, or doubled lettering can push collector demand far beyond ordinary examples because error specialists actively seek unusual wartime cents. One of the most important habits in coin collecting is never cleaning a wheat penny. A cleaned coin often loses natural texture, and once original surfaces are disturbed, experienced buyers usually notice immediately. Even a coin that looks brighter after cleaning often becomes less desirable than a naturally toned piece. A natural 1945 D wheat penny with untouched surfaces usually earns stronger collector trust than one that has been polished or rubbed. Many viewers also ask why some 1945 D pennies appear unusually sharp, while others look soft even when they are the same age. The answer often comes down to strike pressure and die condition at the mint. Early die states usually produce sharper details, while worn dies can leave softer lettering and weaker wheat lines. That means two coins from the same year and mint can look dramatically different depending on when they were struck during die life. Collectors also pay attention to how the D mint mark itself appears. On genuine pieces, it should show natural placement and shape matching known Denver strikes of that period. Altered mint marks exist in the coin market, so if the mint mark looks oddly shaped, too large, too small, or unusually placed, authentication becomes important. The safest approach for any suspiciously unusual example is comparison with verified references. Another reason this coin remains searched heavily is because wartime Lincoln cents attract new collectors faster than many other American coins. The design is familiar, the dates are recognizable, and many families still inherit jars filled with wheat pennies. That means the 1945 D often becomes one of the first coins someone studies seriously, especially after discovering that small details can create very different values. In ordinary circulated grades, most 1945 D wheat pennies remain affordable, but exceptional pieces become a different world entirely. A sharply preserved full red Denver example in elite grade can rise dramatically because very few survive with nearly flawless surfaces, original brilliance, and minimal marks. Registry collectors compete hardest in this top tier, and that is where prices stop looking ordinary and begin surprising people. And then comes the part that shocks almost everyone hearing about this coin for the first time: the highest recorded auction result often associated with an elite 1945 D wheat penny reached $242,000, a figure that completely changes how viewers think about a coin many still dismiss as common. That level belongs to an extraordinary example tied to extreme rarity in condition or exceptional mint circumstances, proving that even a wartime penny with a Denver mark can enter astonishing territory when everything aligns perfectly. While ordinary pieces are far lower in value, this record explains why collectors never ignore a sharp 1945 descent without examining every detail first. So, before you spend a 1945 wheat penny with D mint mark, look at it carefully because this coin is valuable far beyond what most people assume when condition, originality, and rare characteristics come together. One small copper coin from Denver can still carry history, collector demand, and the possibility of hidden value if the right details are present. The next time that tiny D appears under 1945, pause before letting it disappear into circulation, because sometimes the coins people ignore become the ones collectors remember most. Coin number 3. Now, listen to me very carefully because what I'm about to tell you could completely change the way you look at a single penny forever. Imagine holding a coin so ordinary, so overlooked, that millions of people spend it every single day without a second thought. Yet, that same coin could secretly be worth more than a house, more than a luxury car, and in some rare cases, a life-changing fortune. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about and misunderstood coins in American history, the 1953 wheat penny with the D mint mark. Across the United States, countless people have old jars, drawers, and piggy banks filled with pennies. Most of them never get checked. Most of them are ignored. And that is exactly why valuable coins continue to exist in circulation even today. The 1953 wheat penny with a D mint mark is one of those coins that people underestimate simply because it looks common at first glance. This coin features Abraham Lincoln on the front and wheat stalks on the back, just like many other wheat pennies. But the key detail that separates it from ordinary pocket change is the small D mint mark, which indicates it was minted in Denver. That tiny letter might not seem important, but in the world of coin collecting, it can completely change the value of a coin depending on its rarity, condition, and unique characteristics. To understand why this coin matters, you need to understand what makes wheat pennies so collectible in the first place. These coins were produced during a time when American history was going through major transitions. By 1953, the United States was in a post-war economic period and coin production was stable, but certain variations and minting conditions created coins that today are highly desirable among collectors. Now, here's where things start to get interesting. Not every 1953 wheat penny with a D mint mark is valuable. In fact, most of them are still common. But What separates a regular coin from a highly valuable one is condition, strike quality, and rare minting errors. These are the small details that most people never notice, but collectors spend years learning to identify. Condition is one of the most important factors. A coin that has been heavily circulated, scratched, or worn down will usually have lower value. But a coin that has been preserved with sharp details, strong color, and minimal damage can be significantly more desirable. Collectors are constantly searching for high-grade examples because they are much harder to find. Another important factor is the minting process itself. Sometimes during production, small errors occur. These errors can include doubled features, misaligned strikes, or unusual surface textures. These mistakes were never meant to leave the mint, but they did. And when they do, they often become highly sought-after collectors' items. The reason collectors are so interested in the 1953 DeWitt penny is not just because of its age, but because of its place in coin history. It represents a period when millions of pennies were produced, yet only a small number survived in exceptional condition, and even fewer contain the kinds of rare characteristics that significantly increase value. Many people underestimate coins like this because they assume pennies are always worthless. But that assumption is exactly what allows valuable coins to stay hidden in plain sight. They pass through hands unnoticed, get stored away in jars, and are often spent without a second look. Now imagine this scenario. Someone finds an old collection of coins, quickly sorts through them, and spends the pennies without realizing what they had. Among them could be a 1953 DeWitt penny that a collector would have paid a significant amount for. That is how easily value can be lost. Collectors often evaluate these coins based on a combination of factors: surface condition, strike clarity, color tone, and overall eye appeal. Even small differences can result in large changes in value. This is why professional collectors examine every detail under magnification. Another thing that adds interest to this coin is its long-standing popularity among collectors. Wheat pennies are one of the most collected types of coins in the United States because they are historically important, widely recognized, and still occasionally found in circulation today. That means the possibility of discovery is still real. It is also important to understand that not all value comes from rarity alone. Demand plays a huge role. If collectors are actively searching for a specific coin type, even common variations can gain increased attention. The 1953 DeWitt penny sits in that interesting space where availability and demand constantly interact. For anyone interested in coin collecting, this is the type of coin that teaches an important lesson. Always check your change. Always look at old coins carefully, because what seems ordinary at first glance may actually be something worth far more than expected. And now here is something that will completely change how you think about this coin forever. One of the most exceptional examples of a 1953 wheat penny with a D mint mark has reportedly reached an astonishing auction value of $190,000. That is not an estimate. That is a recorded high-value sale that proves just how powerful rarity, condition, and collector demand can be when they come together in one coin. Think about that for a moment. A single penny, originally worth just 1 cent, transforming into a six-figure asset, simply because of its rarity and preservation. That is the reality of the coin collecting world, and it is happening more often than most people realize. So, the next time you come across a penny, especially an older wheat penny, do not ignore it. Take a closer look. Check the date. Look for the mint mark. Pay attention to the condition, because that small coin in your hand could be something far more valuable than you ever expected. Coin number 4, this is the coin that most people overlook, ignore, and spend without a second thought, yet it quietly holds the kind of hidden value that can completely change how you look at your pocket change forever. The 1951 wheat penny with the D mint mark is not just another old coin. It is one of those rare silent treasures that has been sitting in drawers, jars, and everyday circulation, waiting for someone to finally recognize its true worth. Right now, somewhere out there, someone is holding this exact coin without realizing what they have. That's what makes this story so powerful. Because, unlike famous rare coins locked away in collections, The 1951 DeWheat penny still shows up in everyday places. And if you know what to look for, you could be holding something far more valuable than its 1 cent face value. The 1951 wheat penny was minted during a time when America was transitioning into a new era after World War II. The Denver Mint, marked by the small d beneath the date, produced millions of these coins. But here's the truth most people don't understand. Not all 1951D pennies are equal. Some of them are extremely rare due to conditions, strike quality, and most importantly, minting errors. And this is where things get interesting, because collectors are not just looking for any 1951D penny, they are searching for specific versions that stand out. Coins with sharp details, strong luster, and minimal wear can instantly become far more desirable. But even more valuable are those rare, error coins that slipped through the minting process unnoticed. You need to start by looking closely at the coin surface. The first thing to check is the condition. A worn-out coin with faded details will usually be worth only a small premium. But if you find a 1951 DeWheat penny with crisp lines on Abraham Lincoln's face, strong lettering, and visible wheat stalk details on the reverse, you could already be looking at something much more valuable. Now, here's something most people miss. The mint mark itself. That tiny D below the year can sometimes reveal hidden errors. In some rare cases, collectors have discovered repunched mint marks, where the D appears slightly doubled or misaligned. These small variations might look insignificant to the average person, but to collectors, they can mean the difference between a common coin and a highly valuable one. Another powerful factor is luster. When a coin retains its original mint shine, it becomes far more attractive in the eyes of collectors. That bright, almost glowing surface is a sign that the coin has been preserved over time. And coins like that are not easy to find, especially from the early 1950s. But let's go deeper, because this is where the real hidden value begins. Some 1951 DeWheat pennies were struck with subtle, doubling errors. This means parts of the design, especially the lettering or date, may appear slightly doubled when viewed closely. These doubled die varieties are among the most sought after by serious collectors. Imagine this for a moment. You're checking your coins, and you notice something slightly unusual about the numbers or letters. Most people would ignore it, but that small detail could be the exact feature that transforms your penny into a rare collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And it doesn't stop there. Off-center strikes, where the design is not perfectly aligned, can also increase value dramatically. These errors happen during the minting process and are incredibly fascinating because no two error coins are exactly the same. Each one tells its own story. Now think about how many coins pass through people's hands every single day. How many of them get spent without a second look? The truth is, valuable coins are still out there, hiding in plain sight. And the 1951 DeWheat penny is one of those coins that continues to surprise collectors again and again. Another detail you should never ignore is the color of the coin. Collectors often categorize copper coins like wheat pennies into red, red-brown, and brown. A full red 1951D penny, meaning it still has its original copper color, is significantly more valuable than one that has darkened over time. That bright red tone is a sign of preservation, and collectors pay a premium for it. And here's something that adds even more excitement to this coin: the demand. Lincoln wheat pennies are among the most popular coins in the world. Millions of collectors are actively searching for rare dates, high-grade examples, and unique errors. That demand drives prices higher, especially for coins that stand out from the rest. You might be wondering, can a single penny really be worth that much? The answer is yes, but only if it meets the right conditions. It has to be rare in quality, unique in some way, or exceptionally well-preserved. That's what separates ordinary coins from extraordinary ones. And this is exactly why you should never ignore your pocket change again. Because the difference between a 1-cent coin and a life-changing discovery often comes down to knowledge. Knowing what to look for. Knowing what others miss. Collectors have spent years studying coins like the 1951 DeWheat penny. They know the subtle differences, the rare varieties, and the hidden details that most people never notice. But now you have that advantage too. So, the next time you come across an old penny, don't rush to spend it. Take a closer look. Check the date. Look for that small D mint mark. Examine the details, the shine, the color. Because what seems ordinary at first glance could turn out to be something truly rare. And here's the moment that changes everything. In the world of coin collecting, condition and rarity can push values to unbelievable levels. A 1951 D wheat penny in exceptional condition with the right characteristics has reached an astonishing auction record of $242,000. Yes, a single penny turning into a six-figure treasure, all because it had the right combination of rarity, preservation, and collector demand. That's what makes this coin so powerful. It's not just about history or metal, it's about the possibility. The idea that something so small, so common-looking, could hold such incredible value. And the fact that it might still be out there, waiting to be discovered, makes it even more exciting. So, before you spend another penny, remember this. The 1951 wheat penny with the D mint mark is not just a coin, it's a hidden opportunity. And the next one you find could be the one that changes everything. And now you understand the truth. These weren't just ordinary wheat pennies. These were hidden fortunes, quietly sitting in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. While most people ignore them, drop them, or spend them without thinking, a small number of people recognize the signs, and they're the ones turning pocket change into real money. So, the next time you see an old penny, don't rush. Don't assume, because one simple mistake could cost you thousands. And remember, the coins we talked about today are still out there, still circulating, still being overlooked every single day, which means the next discovery could be yours. If you thought these wheat pennies were shocking, wait until you see what's happening with Washington quarters right now. Some of them are worth far more than anyone expects, and most people are still spending them like they're nothing. Make sure you watch my Washington quarters video next, because that could change the way you see your coins forever. And if you don't want to miss more hidden treasures like this, subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with someone who checks their coins, and drop a comment below if you've ever found something valuable in your pocket change. Because the truth is simple. Hidden wealth is real, and it's closer than you think.